this thing is probably saving my life every single day. And no, this is not an advertisement. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. So in this video, I've decided that I'm gonna be talking about how journaling can help you no matter what you're going through and no matter what is your current problem. Because I'm going through some things at the moment which are related to a lot of different things. So I'm having a bit of a problem on how to cope with things and how to basically just deal with everything that is happening, because I feel like everything is happening in such a short time that I don't have the time to process. I don't have the time to, just take everything step by step, because simply it's everything that is happening. And I've tried a lot of things. I've tried, talking to somebody. I've tried distracting myself. I've tried just feeling it. And all those things are very good. Don't get me wrong. All those things are very good. But what I realized that probably saved my life again, because this happened also in November, was journaling. So journaling is basically a thing that you can do whenever you feel like you're overwhelmed. And it doesn't matter what you feel overwhelmed about. It's basically the fact that you just write down your thoughts. And in this video, I want to explain to you why journaling can help you regardless of what your problem is. So before I get into this video, I am using the journal from Jess Conte. I don't know if you know her. She's an Australian YouTuber and she published this journal a few years ago. And I bought it, I think last year, November, because I wanted to buy it for a long time. But I always felt like, I can buy it later, And in November, I really felt like I think it's time to buy it now. And you don't have to use it every day. It's something that you can use whenever you want. Some people use it every day, some people don't use it. And also, this is a journal that I use because I've been following Jess for a long time, both on Instagram and YouTube. But if you have other people that you like and they have a journal, or if you can just buy it in a shop, like in every bookstore, then just buy one that is convenient for you. It doesn't matter. The type of journal that you use is not the point of this video. The point of this video is why journaling helps you if you're also going through something crazy or something overwhelming, or you tried everything else like how I did, yet nothing helped you. So the first thing that journaling really helps is, especially if you're going through something really hard and you just cannot escape from it, for me it's a very good distraction. So especially this journal is good because you have different themes. You can create things, you can write things, you can draw things. So for example, when I don't want to write stuff down because it's just too much that I know it wouldn't fit in a page, I just come up with a page where you can draw, and I just draw. And it's a very good distraction, because when I feel like crying or when I feel like it's just too much and I cannot handle it, I just take the journal and I just start, like drawing something, or I just, remember a good memory, or I read back, because if I drew already something, for example, something about fate, and I read that again when I'm having these bad thoughts, then I just basically reread the journal, reread what I wrote before, and then I'm going to be back to this very good mindset again. So really, it can help you distract yourself, whether if it's a small problem, you receive some bad news and you really don't want to look at the email right now, or you really don't want to talk to that person. You just take the journal and you write something, or you draw something. Or you've been feeling very sad today, you just want to cry all day and stay in bed, do so. But just keep the journal with yourself, because it can really distract you from all your thoughts and all the things that you want to do. The second thing that really helps me is when I write down my problems, I realize that it's not that deep. Because when it's in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh. For example, somebody at work calls me fat. Okay, let's just say this didn't happen, but let's just say this happens. So then, of course, at work, I'm like, oh my gosh, they are right. Everybody's looking at me. I'm so fat. But if I write it down in my journal, I'm going to be like, okay, so what? Somebody called you fat. So what? It's not the end of the world. Probably a lot of people call me ugly on the internet. A lot of people call me ugly in real life behind my back. It's just some people have the audacity to tell you face to face. But that doesn't mean it's true. or it doesn't mean that you have to deal with it. It just means that that's their opinion. And to be honest, what I learned in my life is that most of the time when people say something to me about me, it says more about them than about me, you know, because I personally would never go up to someone and say, okay, you are fat. You know, even if I think that, I'm just not gonna say that because that's just rude. But if someone tells you this, that says more about them, that says about you, because no normal person would go up to someone and say, you're fat, you're short, you're too tall. These are things sometimes we cannot change. Your height, definitely no, but also your weight. Sometimes people cannot change that. So when they say stuff like this, I'm like, okay, that's your opinion and that says more about you. But I need to see that written down in my journal. And this one I actually realized because when I failed an exam, I wrote down on the day I felt horrible. I wrote something like, I failed an exam, I feel like a failure, I can never heal from this. And then a few days later, I opened that page again and I wrote down, today I'm feeling quite happy because I went to the gym. And then I reread what I wrote a few days before and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't feel that way anymore. I don't feel like I can never recover from this failure for my exam. And I think that really, really, really helps because in the moment, everything that you feel is heavy. In the moment, every single thing that you feel is valid, but also heavy. The day after, those things will not be as heavy. And it's not because you're overthinking in the moment. It's just because in the moment, everything feels way heavier than a few days later. And that's why I want you to write it down. Because the moment you write it down, you realize that, okay, wait, that's actually not that heavy. And sometimes you realize it immediately. Because when I wrote down the exam, I did not feel that way. I felt literally I could not heal from that. And a few days later, I felt completely different. And when I had this comment, if I had this comment from work, I would write it down and I would be like, wait, I don't even care about this. Like, what am I going to win if I care about this? I win if I don't care about that because I know it's not true. And the third thing is that when you have these thoughts or when you deal with these kind of things, a lot of people tell you to talk to somebody, which is fair. Talk to a therapist, talk to a psychologist, talk to, a friend or your family. But there are some things that we don't want to talk about, and that's okay. There are some things that I don't want people to know, not even my closest family. And having a journal is like having a person that is always available to you. Because most of the time, at least this is true for me, I don't know about you, but I think this could also be true for you. Most of the time, I don't want people to solve my problems. I just want them to listen. So a journal is literally the perfect way for that. Because when you talk to somebody and they immediately, but you're overthinking, but that's not true, but that's not that deep. That makes me so angry because, man, I'm feeling this way. You have to respect that. And when they immediately contradict what I'm trying to say, that makes me feel unheard. But when you write it down in a journal, nobody will tell you that's not true or that's not a valid feeling or you shouldn't feel this way. The journal is going to listen and you can write and say whatever you want. And it is kind of your best friend because it listens, it supports, and is always there for you. If you wake up in the middle of the night, it's gonna be there for you. If you are at work, it's gonna be there for you. If you're traveling, it's gonna be there for you. It's always going to be there for you because that's how you basically can rely on it. And even though it's not a person, it's not gonna talk back to you, of course, but if you need somebody to give you advice, you go to your friends, you go to a therapist, whatever. But if you just wanna rant, if you just wanna talk to somebody without them judging or without them saying, oh, but you shouldn't live this way, then a journal is perfect. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you liked this video and I really hope I could help you. If you consider buying a journal, I can definitely recommend because I used it now for the second time on a daily basis and it's really helping me. I really use it only when I'm feeling low because that's when it helps me, or if I'm feeling really, really, really happy and I just want to share it with someone, then I write it down and I'm very happy. You can find multiple journals, as I mentioned, online from different influencers, from bookstores. Also, you can just Google it and then it's going to give you probably a lot of recommendations. Again, I'm using the journal from Jess Conte. So if you want to buy, I don't know if it's on stock at the moment because I ordered again in November, so I have no clue. I will leave the link below if it's available so you can check it out. And I wish you a good recovery if you're going through something. Regardless, I wish you all a happy Sunday and I'm gonna see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!